to our channel. Today we're going to be talking about very real things in our relationship. We've done a couple of videos recently talking about issues, fights, being more real with you and more transparent as to what actually goes on in our relationship.
I know you guys may think that we're perfect, and trust me, we're very close, but there are a few things that go on behind the scenes.
Just a few.
I think we just want to be open with you guys so you don't think this is just some perfect relationship where nothing bad ever happens. Like, yes, we are both very happy in our relationship, I think, but there are things that go on, and I feel like it's important to talk about those things because it's really easy to get caught up in the videos and the content that we post and thinking that that is just always everyday life. But it's like, we are a real couple who go through real things, and we thought, why not be honest with you? You already know everything else about us. So
we've noticed that there is a gap in our content because as soon as we talked about being in a relationship, but all the comments were talking about, thank you for talking about that. That makes me feel more reassured. I related to you more. And it's like, holy what the hell were we putting out before to avoid this entire gap? Because I feel like our entire relationship is talking things through, working on them, doing it all over again because we up again. I feel like that's our thing, but what we're putting out is surprising my girlfriend, date night, and it's like
reacting to TikTok boys.
Yeah, and everything in between that is like, are you kidding me? Why are we doing this? Today, we kind of wrote down 5 points, but we're just gonna kind of skim the surface on them in hopes that it either kind of promotes self-reflection of your own stuff, maybe it's relatable, and then if you do want more of like a deep dive kind of chat about everything, maybe we'll do like a little series deep diving into common relationship mistakes or mistakes we've made in our relationship that we're working on.
Before we get into this video, Holly, you know, there are a few key things. What do you gotta do with the thumb? Of course you do. Then you gotta take that bell and
ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Yep, because that's the notification bell in case you didn't know. And finally, we need to subscribe. Thank you. That was probably the lamest one, but that's okay. Ready? Again. Subscribe! Well, ready? Swim cap? Goggles? Let's dive right in.
Okay, what's the first thing we up on?
Well, I literally have a cue card here. And the first one is we stopped putting in effort.
Ta-da! Wow, depressing, but very true.
It is. We've been together 6 years.
We kind of touched on this in a previous video about kind of fight languages and stuff. But after moving in, I think it's very easy to stop putting in effort with a partner because all of a sudden everything is just routine and you get sucked into your day-to-day bullshit. You forget to prioritize your relationship, and that is something that we're incredibly guilty of.
All of these things that we're talking about doesn't mean they're completely fixed.
No.
Too. These are things we're actively working on a daily basis to try and improve.
Because they'll never be fixed.
No.
These aren't things you can just fix and live with. These aren't things that happen to you. They're things you constantly have to keep up with.
Basically, after we moved in together, it was super exciting. And then all of a sudden, I felt like we just got in routine, as you were saying. We kind of lost that like romantic aspect of our relationship and like the surprise. And I think we fell into a thing where we became more like business partners.
And just in general, I think you really take your partner for granted once they've been there for a certain amount of time. At the beginning, it's the chase, it's excitement, it's, oh, I can't believe they thought of me. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, you should think of me. We've been together for X number of months, years, whatever. But you start taking them for granted. They're always there. They're always your shoulder to cry on. They're always the person you call when you've got good news. Just because they're there all the time does not mean that you don't have to put in effort to make them feel special anymore. And not only did I take Paige for granted, I, at the same time, felt taken for granted. So then I'm getting a bit jaded thinking like, oh, she's not doing this, she's not doing that. But I'm not doing those things for you because I'm so wrapped up in that you're not doing them for me, and created a lot of fights and expectations, eradicated a lot of good things in our relationship until we addressed that gap.
It was around that time period where I would say we went through our roughest patch as a couple. It was the middle of COVID. We had just moved in together and we're getting into this new routine. We just were more like business partners and friends, and that romantic aspect wasn't there. I'm so glad we're at where we are now, and we've taken steps to try and bring that romantic side back. It's an active effort we're trying to do every single day. The little things.
I get it. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're depressed, you're anxious. Sometimes it's a struggle to focus on you, never mind focus on somebody else, right? And you have to fix yourself first. You have to prioritize yourself first before you can. Otherwise, whatever is gonna fix that hole in your heart, you're putting it into somebody else. It's hard to put effort in when you don't feel like putting in effort to anything. But I think in the taken for granted thing, if I lost Paige, my life would be over. So why aren't I putting more effort into something that makes me so happy and gives me so much joy and laughter just because I can't be bothered? I never felt that way at the beginning because things are different. But what's important is when you realize there's a lack of effort, to just give it a go. Small things. Leave a note in someone's lunchbox. Text them a good night message, even if you live with them. Who cares?
Make them a tea if they're tired, or get them a blanket if they're cold. Just little things like that. And they show the other person that you're thinking of them and you care about them. You're putting in effort, even in small things. They don't have to be huge, grand gestures.
What else do we about?
Okay, so the next one is that we forgot each other's love language. That's a very important one.
Killer. It's killer. We've had so many fights.
So many.
About it. And we didn't even know what we were arguing about. It would be masked as, you didn't do this, you don't do this enough. Like, I wish you did more of this. The root cause of all of those things were we lost touch with what the other one needs to feel love.
Like, we were so caught up in how we wanted to feel loved, and like showing that through our way. Words are very important to me. That's one of my main love languages. So I would tell you I loved you all the time and you weren't feeling loved.
Yeah, because I'm like, show me you love me.
Yeah.
I don't care if you tell it, like put your money where your mouth is.
Or where your butt is. Yeah, so you are like more of a physical touch gal, and words of affirmation is very important to me. So when you were saying you weren't feeling loved, I was confused by that because I kept telling you I loved you. And we've talked about this in other videos as well. But basically there was miscommunication in our love languages, and this caused a lot of problems for us because we kept thinking we were doing enough, but then the other person thought we weren't, and that went both ways.
And also, you're showing me love in your way, and then you're feeling like it's not valued or appreciated. Meanwhile, you're giving me things I'm not asking for and not giving me the things I am asking for. And vice versa, of course. And it can just be such a detrimental thing to any relationship, and it's very easy to forget. Like, we would have chats about stuff, figure it out. I would give you more words of affirmation. She would touch me more, like on the couch, just like little things really make me feel loved. After that chat, it would be great for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then slowly fizzle out again, back into old routines. And then we'd have the same thing, but next time that conversation's more charged because I've said this already. We've already had this conversation before. There's no real fix for that. You shouldn't have to have that conversation over and over, but in reality, I think it's gonna happen. But what you can do as a partner is try and remind yourself of that. What does she need from me? What can I do to make her happy?
Just because you have a certain love language at a certain time also doesn't mean that that's going to be the same love language you want for the rest of your life. I think it's important with a partner that you discuss this once a year if you need, just to kind of update and make sure you guys are both showing, giving, receiving love in the ways that you want.
A big fight that Paige and I had was that I would say, I need more physical affection. And that would translate when you heard it as, you're not enough, you're not doing enough, you're not good enough. You know, it was very negative in translation. In my head, all I was doing was, hey, give me more cuddles, give me more kisses. Like, that's what makes me feel loved. I don't not value what you're doing, I just really value this. You were seeing it as, what you're doing is not right, do this instead. And that's not what it was, but it's how fights happen, of course.
And we're learning to communicate more effectively. It's never going to be perfect. We can just hope to get better.
So yeah, so this was kind of leading to a lot of fights, and at the beginning we didn't know that all these fights stemmed from the love language thing. It was just like, what's the root cause? So I was doing a lot of, say, personal research online to kind of get to the root cause.
What's personal research? I didn't know you were doing personal research.
Well, you wouldn't know I was doing personal research, would you? Because Surfshark had my back.
You mean Surfshark, today's sponsor?
I sure do, Paige.
Need some relationship advice? Never fear! Surfshark is a VPN service that allows you to connect to the internet via an encrypted tunnel to ensure your online privacy and protect your sensitive data. They don't monitor, track, or store what you do online, so you can conduct your research in peace. After you've calmed down, make up with your partner by unlocking Netflix libraries previously unavailable to you by simply changing your IP address to anywhere in the world. Now you can focus on what really matters.
Love? No. Surfshark.
If you guys are interested, you can head to surfshark.com and use our code Paige and Holly to get 83% off and 3 months for free.
Thank you so much, Surfshark.
Thank you indeed. Wow. I wish you gave me that much attention and physical touch.
I've got you covered. Thanks, Surfshark. Wow, okay, this is a great lead-in because the next one is perfection over progress.
For me, I want that perfect love. I want a person that's so perfectly suited to me. They can read my mind. They know what I want and what I feel without me having to say. My needs are met without me having to ask, because to ask, I need help. Hey, I need more hugs and kisses. I feel really pathetic asking for that. I don't know if it's like a pride or ego thing. I hate asking for it. In reality, that creates such a buildup of expectation and pressure on Paige to read my mind, to not have anything else going on in her life so she can solely focus on me. That's not fair as a partner. And it's something literally this week that I've just unlocked in my head, where it's like, oh, I guess with the perfection thing, you know, you want a partner to be your best friend, your confidant, your business partner, your soulmate, your sexy tigress in bed. You want them to be everything. And if they were everything to you, they wouldn't even have a life of their own. And something that I love about Paige is that she can be completely independent. If push came to shove, you could entirely do everything on your own.
Except for Colin. Book my appointments with the doctor.
Just let me die. But I love that Paige has her own life. If she dedicated her entire life to me, that would really turn me off. But the other side of my head goes, well, she should do that. She's your partner. You're worthy. You're deserving. You know, this like angel and devil thing that I haven't really figured out yet. Sorry for making you need to be perfect.
It's okay. Next point, and this is something I'm very guilty of, okay? Now putting it back on myself here. What we do is we like to win an argument, is that with the winning of the argument and arguments in general, we're not listening to listen, but we're listening to respond. And that's a huge one for me. You less so. I feel like you've been really reflective of yourself, especially in the past few months. When I talk, I know you're listening. Even when we're arguing, I know that what I'm saying, you're actually taking in and kind of developing a response to. Whereas if I'm getting like heated, if you're saying something to me, half the time it will go right over my head because I'm just trying to make my next point instead of taking time to think about what you said and understand why you're feeling this way or why you said what you said. And I think it's really, really important just to listen. Your partner deserves to be heard and understood, even if you don't agree with them. And that's something I'm trying to do better at. I'm not great, but I want to continue to do better for you. So I'm not perfect either.
Oh, I know it.
Winning the argument, just going back to that, that's something we're both guilty of, I think. I think it's pretty common in relationships and friendships, family, partners, whatever, that you want to win. You want to have the last word. You want to be the one that proves that they are right.
But in doing so, you're losing sight of what actually matters, which is being respectful of your loving partner. What lengths are you going to win this thing? You're hurting feelings, you're raising your voice, your tone is disrespectful. Are you really winning when you win? I wasn't.
Okay, so this is the last one, but to me, this was probably one of the most important ones of our relationship and one of the biggest things that led to arguments. This one is the urge to merge. This has to do with codependence in relationships. This is something we have struggled with for quite some time now. I would say right around COVID and when we moved in together. Like you guys know, we work and live together. We're best friends, we're lovers. We were everything together. And that created difficulty and like we weren't able to separate from each other.
Someone could be like, what are you doing this weekend? And I would reply, oh, we're doing this. I did have an I statement in my goddamn life. We're doing this. What should we do today? We have to go get groceries. We need to get gas. We should do this. There was no priority of self.
Whenever I was hungry or something, I would think about, when are you hungry? Like, are you hungry too? How about I just make a decision for myself about what I want to do? Lockdowns are very difficult and you're all cooped up together with nothing to do. So the two of you are like doing everything. And that's kind of also what happened to us. And I think it led to a lot of issues where like we didn't know what we wanted anymore.
We lost sight of who we were as individuals.
Yes.
I forgot what I actually liked to do. Everything was tied into what I thought Paige wanted or needed, and then I would give that. And there was so much self-sacrifice that I could not remember what made me happy without Paige. It left no room for error. If we got in a fight, it would feel like the whole world was against me because my one person and I were fighting.
I would say if you're in a relationship and you feel that way, try and take a step back. Really important to have your own things going on too. It doesn't mean you have to necessarily like actually distance yourself from your partner, but find a new hobby or something that you would like to do for yourself.
If you're finding it difficult to remember what you like to do, I really struggle with it. I made a list of things that my old self did. It was in university, I used to listen to music that made me feel good, mostly Beyonce and Rihanna, and doing Sudokus. That's something that gave me like 10 minutes of just pure yeah, brain wake up, ready to start the day or ready to stop the day. And it's something that I hadn't done in years. And then I started doing it and I'm like, oh my God, it's like meeting an old friend again. And then I had new interest to it. It's like, oh, I actually really like cooking. Maybe I'll cook more. And I won't be, hey Paige, what do you want to eat? It's, hey Paige, I found a new recipe. I want to cook.
I think you'll really like it.
It's just different and it's kind of a perspective thing.
We're getting there one day at a time. I picked up guitar again. I used to play guitar all the time and I literally stopped for like 5 years almost. And I've just started playing again and I've been really enjoying it. It's nice to like relearn things and learn new things.
And if you're with the right person, they will encourage you to pursue your own interest. A person that is, no, be with me, no, you shouldn't do that. You know, anyone that's monopolizing your time, not accidentally, run or have a very big conversation. When I saw Paige playing guitar, my heart melted. It wasn't, oh, she's not watching this thing with me. Oh, she's not listening to me. It was like, oh my God, baby, I'm so happy for you. How are your guitar fingers doing? It gave a new spark to our relationship because it was something that we didn't experience together and we could actually talk about.
Yeah, rather than us both being there being like, so what did you think of this thing that I also was a part of?
Most couples or even friends, they have separate jobs, they come back and they bitch about work, right? We don't have that. If I'm bitching about work, I'm bitching about Paige, and I do that behind the back.
And in front of it. Okay, well, I think that just about covers it for today. And yes, I'll just summarize. We are not perfect. I know you may think we are, but hopefully after today, you realized we are a horrible match. No, I'm just kidding. I hope that you guys like this style of video. We really don't do much of this in-depth tea sipping type of stuff, but we want it to be real. We're sick and tired of looking perfect. We just wanted to be real with you about what goes on behind the scenes, and hopefully you're able to learn something from it. If not, hopefully you liked learning about our drama. Otherwise, leave a comment if you like this stuff or if there's like a topic you want us to cover. We really enjoy talking about this stuff. We're no professionals, but it's fun to like learn together, and
yeah, it is.
I know you guys could teach us a lot, and hopefully we can teach you a thing or two.
Yeah, well said.
Thanks. I think that's it. I guess I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.